Hi, this is Nicole with Real Food, Real Simple and School of Permaculture, and I am here today to show you how easy it is to make a great herb vinaigrette. One of the reasons I love having a vinaigrette on hand in the fridge is because salad dressing is so expensive and it's full of all sorts of nasty chemicals and lower quality ingredients. When you see how easy this is, you're gonna wanna rush to your kitchen. For the most part, it's really very artisan. It's very whatever you're in the mood for, maybe you like a little higher amount of this, a little bit lower amount of that, and that's no big deal. You totally adjust it to your preference with the exception of your olive oil and your vinegar. And with that, you actually use a ratio. So you use 1 part of vinegar and 3 parts of oil. Now, as far as what kind of oil, I prefer an extra virgin olive oil. Avocado oil works really great. Any low processed oil would be an awesome option here. And then you can really adjust the flavor with your vinegar choice. Now, this right here is an apple cider vinegar, and it's what I'm gonna use today. It's great because it's live and got lots of good probiotics for you. A lot of times when I'm making my kombucha, I let it go a little too long. And so this is actually kombucha vinegar. So this is just when my kombucha is more vinegary than I would actually want to use it as. So it's a great option for salad dressings. And so whenever that happens with my kombucha, I just bottle some, label it, and I've got it on hand in the pantry. And then the third option I'm showing you today is actually my husband's favorite. It makes a much bolder vinaigrette, and that is a balsamic vinegar. Then some of the flavors that I like to use are some garlic puree, and this garlic puree is just garlic that has been creamed with salt. So you chop the garlic, sprinkle some salt over it, and then you're just going to use this method with the knife to really crush it and puree it. I have some mustard, and then a sweetener. I prefer honey. You could use any kind of sweetener that you prefer, and some fresh Celtic sea salt and black pepper. So first we are going to prep our herbs. I've got basil from the garden. So here's how you do basil. So you take the basil and you stack the leaves inside of them, and then you're gonna take it and you're gonna roll it up like a cigar. So when you hold the roll, you take the knife, make sure and tuck your fingers so you don't cut your fingers, you just wanna cut the basil, and we're gonna cut very thin strips, and this is called a chiffonade. This is the best way to cut basil for any of your recipes. Now, because we're putting this in a salad dressing, I'm gonna turn it and I'm gonna cut it the other way also, and then our basil is ready. Now, the other 2 herbs that I got today is a rosemary and a thyme. And a rosemary and a thyme are actually both a woody herb. So the proper way to prep this is to hold it upright, pinch at the top, and just pull the stem right through your pinched fingers. Now I'm again just gonna stack this, tuck my fingers, and cut it nice and small. Now rosemary is a very strong herb, so you're not going to want to put a whole lot in here unless you just really love the rosemary flavor. It's really much better as a background herb in this kind of application. And I'm gonna cut that a second time just to make sure it's nice and fine, because you really don't want to be eating your salad and getting a big old piece of rosemary in your mouth. And then our thyme. And so we're gonna do the same thing. We're just gonna pinch and strip. Before I realized this, I used to sit and pick all of these leaves off one at a time. Don't do that. Give it a good chop just to kind of crush and release all of the oils and the herbs. Okay, our prep work is done. So now we're gonna put together our salad dressing. So we're gonna take, again, personal preference. I like a lot of basil, a little bit of rosemary, and a little bit to a medium amount of thyme. And then we're gonna put a little bit of our sweetener in. I prefer it not quite so sweet. Some mustard, garlic. I'm using the same spoon, but okay. So now we're gonna put our olive oil in. And again, we already measured it. Again, that was 1 cup of olive oil and 1/3 cup of apple cider vinegar. Definitely need salt and pepper. I like a real peppery vinaigrette. Okay, now we're ready. So all we're gonna do is we're gonna take the lid and screw it on. This is an awesome recipe or technique for getting your kids involved in the kitchen. They love to shake things. And all we're gonna do is just shake this up. This is gonna store in the fridge. Now, once you put this in the fridge, because of the salt and the vinegar, it's actually gonna have a really great storage shelf life in the fridge, but you do need to keep it refrigerated. If I was making this today and using this technique, I would need to let it sit for about 30 minutes to really get the flavors to open up and kind of mingle. The product 30 minutes in is totally different than the way it tastes right now. This is the easiest way to do it. You just put the lid on and shake, shake, shake. Because it's such a gentle emulsion, when you put it in the fridge, it will separate it again. That's not a problem. You just pull it out and you shake it again. If that's not your cup of tea, there are kind of some other ways to do it. One is if you have like these shaker balls, you can throw that in there and shake it, and it's just a little bit more aggressive of a shake. You can put it in a blender or use an immersion blender. And you'll notice that when I use the immersion blender on it, what's gonna happen is it's actually gonna get much lighter in color because the emulsification is gonna be so much stronger. So I'm gonna put it all the way down, I'm gonna turn it on, and then I'm gonna very slowly pull it up and rock it back and forth as I do that. Look at how much thicker that is. It's much thicker of an emulsion now. Now this dressing, because we just emulsified it with the blender, you could use it right away, certainly much sooner. I'm gonna give it a good taste. Always taste your recipes. You can adjust them before they get on the table. That's awesome. Hey, you guys definitely stop over by realfoodrealsimple.org and check out all of the recipes and kitchen tips that we have posted there, because I wanna help you have fun in the kitchen.